Everybody, it's Doom, and we're back. Oh, forgot my stuff. All right, we're back in the Monster Manual 3.5. Boo, 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 boo. On the Locathah. They are super lame. But their favorite class is Barbarian, even though they have no natural weapons and they run away. So that makes a lot of sense to me. All right, let's get a soft brush. A real soft brush. Let's get some white paint. Excuse me, French. Absolutely not French whatsoever. Je ne parle pas le français. And it looks like we were able to save some of the original texture from the model. Not a lot of it, but some of it. And that might be a payoff during this paint job. We'll see. Alright, so these dudes are like a tan and orange kind of colors. So let's see what we can do to maintain that. Lighten him up some more, getting some of the little bit of musculature under the arms there. Since we have the texture, let's use it. Alright, so I think the way to go with him is to get like a tan or a beige. So I'm getting khaki, which is like a very light on the brown scale. I'm getting my brush damp so the paint glides smoothly out of the tip of it. And I'm going to paint the front part. And inside of his legs, like that. And then his belt, we'll just paint over that, because I'm getting paint on it. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to do under his arms a little bit with that. Leave that go for a minute. Let that kind of dry up. Then I'm going to get this color. It's called pumpkin orange. And it's a lot lighter than what we want to go with, but you can use an orange wash or a speed paint over this to darken them up later. Okay. Dampen your brush. I use my mouth. You use what you want. And let's get a good coat of this on him. I can't imagine this is going to be too hard of a paint job, but I've thought that before. Oops. Sloppy, sloppy. And if you get it on the spear, not a big deal. We'll come back and paint that in a minute. What I'm doing is, so it's not a perfectly smooth line, I'm just kind of bringing it forward a little bit and going a little bit onto that tan. But you can do it how you want. Somebody on one of the Facebook groups I'm on made some smart comments about my painting. First of all, I am not a painting instructor. I just want you guys to know that if you're here to learn how to paint, you can copy some of my techniques and you might be able to learn something, but I am not a painting instructor, okay? I'm a dude in my basement who makes miniatures. I don't get paid for this. I'm not like this isn't a job. This is just some fun thing I do. And I am a lazy painter. I've said that 100 times. Yeah, my technique is sloppy because I'm trying to get a miniature painted in half an hour at tops. Yes, I'm very sloppy. That is a fact. The guy who is running his mouth probably has not watched the content to know that I admit regularly I am not an instructor or a professional painter. I have sold some work before, but it wasn't work that I did in half an hour. It was work that I actually put effort into. And I just want you guys to know, if you're here to learn to paint, this is probably not the place for that. If you're here to learn how to sloppily paint and get a miniature on your table quick, then yeah, you can learn something here. Also, I don't know all the technical terms for everything. I don't know everything. I just don't know everything. I don't. And I just want you guys to understand, like, if you see comments like that about me, it's true. I'm not. I am sloppy. I'm a lazy painter. I just want it to look good enough to throw on the table. And that's the goal. So it was kind of a thing the day before yesterday. I was at work on night turn covering a shift, and it just irritated the heck out of me because I never claimed to be anything, I don't claim to be some great artist. I don't claim to be a professional painter. I don't claim to be very knowledgeable about painting. If you want to talk about making miniatures from scratch, well, I think at this point I'm getting pretty decent at that, but I'm not a professional by any means. All right, let's get this guy. He's pretty much coated up in the orange everywhere he needs to be. Not quite perfectly, but he's painted. And don't forget, since I'm going to use a wash or a speed paint, I think I'm going for a speed paint because I don't have to make it. It's already made. I think I'm kind of where I need to go on him. Okay. I do need to come back with a tan and hit some spots that I messed up. For sure. But we'll have to hit him with a magic item to make him dry up fast in order to do that. So let's get a magic item that can help speed up this drying process. Not perfectly dry, and that's okay. We just need them dry enough that the paints weren't going to smear everywhere. And I got my beige back out, and we're going to just go back and touch up where I was too sloppy, because there were just spots where I was a little too sloppy. Okay, it's not terrible. I'm going to get brown and do his spear and his base. Oops. So for this part up here, where this like the texture is from that, I'm gonna make that like coral of some sort, I guess, is my plan. I don't know how exactly I'm going to capture that look just at the moment, but that is my intent. And I'd like to mention on that Facebook post, like, I didn't put anything. I am in that group, but I did not say anything in that group. I was just like minding my own business and looking at other people's paint jobs and stuff. And somebody made a comment under the guy's post, like, hey, Dungeons and Doom Biscuit paints at about that quality, because the dude said it took him like 2 hours or whatever. And somebody said, hey, Dungeons and Doom Biscuits could teach you to paint it at that quality in 30 minutes. And again, I didn't say it, and I didn't respond. I kept my mouth shut and didn't want to get involved because, now that I'm doing YouTube here, I don't want to start fights with people. I don't want to create any altercations that might turn people off from watching the channel and stuff, because this is fun. I enjoy everybody watching and saying stuff and joining our Discord. I do like that stuff. So yeah, I just kind of kept my yap shut. But eventually there was some back and forths from people that I didn't even know who they were, and I don't know if they were subscribers or anything, but there were people that were just like, hey, we're not here to criticize. This group is for, fun and nice and stuff. And then eventually he took the post down, or someone made it come down some way. And then I just kind of sat there and stewed about it because, I don't like not being able to defend myself or to explain if someone misrepresents me. And I know that sounds really petty and immature, but it's true. I just, I always say, hey, I'm not a professional. When someone asks me or says, hey, I'm learning how to paint from your channel or something, and I've had a couple people say that, and I'm just like, no, I'm not that guy. I got a little bit of brown on his foot. I'm going to try to get that off with just a wet brush. There we go. It's not perfect, but it'll be okay. All right. So now get a cheapy brush. Something like this guy. And we want to create a situation where we have multiple tones on him before we do the speed paint. So I'm getting this golden yellow here. It's called King's Gold. Wow, that's really wet. It's unfortunate. When you buy craft paint, I have two different jugs of this, and they both have different consistencies. When you buy craft paint, you are not getting any guarantee on consistency and quality, okay? So if you're like me and you're using craft paint sometimes, just remember, it's not going to behave. Every jug you open is not going to be the same. And that's why you pay more money for certain types of paint, because you expect that from it, You expect consistency to be similar and it to behave the same way each time you use it. With craft paint, it's just not the case always. And I've even had this problem with professional paints. There was a time where Games Workshop was putting out some stuff that I wasn't happy with, and that's why I won't use Games Workshop stuff anymore. I've been told by Immortals Inc., the YouTube channel I've linked before, I've been told by the proprietor of that place that they've gotten better, but I'm not going to waste my money to be the one to find out. Okay? That gave us some highlighted areas real quick. Let's get a piece of tape. I usually use white, but this tape red was laying here because I'd use it to cover up the hole on a compact disc. We're going to plus 2 hot air gun this guy to death. Plus 2 hot air gun burning. We're going to get some orange, if I can find it. This is called Fire Giant Orange. So yeah, and I'll tell you, and do me a favor. If you're watching this and you were involved in that situation or saw that comment, do me a favor. Do not engage these people on my behalf. I don't need protected. And his ultimate like smart remarks in the end that he made before the post was taken down, that is like showing what kind of dude he is, that he's willing to go on the internet and smack talk just to smack talk against someone who's not fighting or saying anything, you know. So just don't be that, you know, don't get involved. Stay out of that stuff. We don't need that. I don't need that. We're just hanging out. I'm just a dude in my basement making miniatures from scratch, and I do paint real minis sometimes, yes, but generally I just do stuff like this Locathah guy. You know, this is my fun here is just kit bashing these guys out of nothing. You know, I kind of call it scrum bumming, even though I know that's not the term that people use, but I call it scrum bumming. You just get all the scrummy parts you have laying around and make a mini out of them. It's just it's my fun, and I hope it's your guys' fun too, y'all, ladies and gentlemen, and everything else everyone else that's watching. We don't want that in our lives. We don't need that drama. And for the couple of you, I know some of you are subscribed because your Facebook names are similar to your YouTube names, and I was kind of looking. I appreciate you standing up for me. I do, but don't get involved with these people. They're not good guys. I don't think that we're a chill group of people, man. You know, I've been like I try to keep the tone of videos super chill, you know, so maybe if you just like want to listen to something like this as you go to bed, or if you want to like just relax, make your day better. I try to, you know, keep it calm and keep it cool, and I don't need people like that destroying that. This is a chill, fun thing we do here. This is not for anger and for smack talk. This is for niceness. This is for, you've heard me talk about being kind. You know, it's important that we be kind to people. It takes a little tolerance to be kind sometimes, and that's okay. Now, if you make little mistakes where you drag it up on there, just kind of look and try to roughly mimic that on the other side. Okay? That's all you want to do, is just kind of make it look similar, so your mistakes look intentional. So I got a little man knocking at the door. Hello? Are you knocking at the door, sir?
Dad?
Yes, sir. How can I help you?
I was wondering if you wanted to do something with me.
Yes, I do. After I finish this video, I'll come up and we can draw, or we can make something, or we can do something fun.
Okay, well, I'm sorry for interrupting your video.
That's all right, little Sambo. I love you very much. I'll see you in a couple minutes. I'm almost done here.
Okay.
Give me about 10 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more. I got to clean up. All right, thank you, buddy. So there's a very bland amount of texture on his chest because we just painted that one color. And how we can fix that is by getting like an ivory or an off-white color and doing a very generic light dry brush on that. So this is a yellowy white ivory color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a crappy brush that has a soft fanned out tip like this. And I'm going to grab a little bit of that and a cardboard. And I'm just going to turn that into an almost dry brush. Not quite a dry brush. I'm going to leave some in there. And then I'm just going to drag that around. And I'm going to hit a little bit of that with this. And just give it a two-tone. Real easy like. And then on the arms, since there's so little of that area exposed, I'm not even going to bother doing that, okay? And the only reason we do this is so it doesn't look monotone and flat and boring. You want to be careful you don't hit any of the orange, or you're going to create bigger problems for yourself there. All right, so let's work on the head of this spear, because that's a big situation we got going on here. All right. So let's do the metal first. I think that'll be the easiest part. So I'm just getting my gunmetal here. It's a darker silver that's not real flashy and nice. I have a couple other silvers that range from mid-tone to obnoxious, but this is a darker one. It's usually a safe bet to use on a lot of crafts like this. And also you can hit it with after it's dry, you can kind of dab around and hit the corners and edges with a brighter silver to imply that things are sharp or that it's not all flat and muted. So I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to get a vibrant, a medium green and a vibrant green. So I'm going to get this, and we're going to try to make it look like coral. And I think corals aren't green. I don't know. Maybe they're pinks and blues. In Minecraft, I see a lot of coral, but in real life, I don't see a lot of coral. Hold on, that medium green is no good. I'm going to grab that Kelly green. And the reason I'm grabbing this Kelly green and using green in general is because I want a stark contrast to this orange to try to make it look a little nicer, to give this miniature a little more bling factor, something that sticks out. Because I've noticed the more colorful the miniatures I make, the more people at the table are like, "Oh, that's so outside of your comfort zone. You don't usually paint that." And I like hearing that kind of stuff, like that I'm doing something fancy or different. And also, unfortunately, even though I don't always like bright colors, on YouTube, the people tend to click on videos with the bright colors more. Because even though I live in a grim, dark fantasy world, a lot of people seem to like color. And this guy's bright orange. We might actually get a couple views. Who knows? I'm going to take that and set it off to the side. Wash out my brush. We're going to get, well, that's kind of drying before we switch to a hot air gun. I'm going to get tan again. And I'm going to paint some of his base. So I'm going to get that workhorse brush I use a lot. The Doom 3 brush, size 3 brush. And I'm going to hit and drag around and drastically lighten up the base, but I don't want to hit his feet. And if we go onto those flat spots, that's okay. It's completely fine. Okay. Something like that should do the trick. Now we can hit all of them with a hot air gun. Well, I rinse out my brush. I don't think anybody has yet asked me, maybe they haven't, I don't remember, how much paint I eat from cleaning out all my little brushes with my mouth and getting my brushes damp with my mouth and stuff. Look, honestly, when I'm not on videos, if there's any kind of weird taste or anything, I spit it in the garbage. I don't eat it at all. But, yeah, I just spit it in the garbage usually. Let me get a dab of that. I'm going to get a dab of that yellow. I'm going to clean out my brush, dry out my brush a little bit. It's still got a little bit of moisture in it, but not a whole bunch. I'm going to get that and that. And I'm going to drag that along the tans and the browns of the base. In a very sad attempt to create a beachy kind of look. And I say very sad attempt. And then I'm going to clean that brush out. And wipe it off again. And I'm going to get a little bit of this really bright limeade here. Da, 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 da. I'm going to evenly get it in the tip of this brush, and then I'm going to drag it along and grab that little bit of texture on this glue in an attempt to try to make it look like coral, though I'm not really, I should have looked up coral, but it's kind of like I'm into it now, so I can't really stop the video and use my phone to look up coral. All right. Not quite done. We're getting there. I'm getting a color called Mountain Blue. See if I can find it. Maybe I'm getting a color called Mountain Blue. All right, we're using Admiral Blue. I couldn't find the mountain quick enough. We're going to paint the smooth part around him. I'm going to be doing that outer edge in black eventually, ultimately. But we're getting close. Then I'm not cleaning my brush out at all. I'm leaving that in there, and I'm just going to get a dab of this turquoise. And I'm just trying to break that up and create a little bit of variation. Here we go. Now, I've said before I don't like using craft paint for this, but since we've used predominantly craft paint besides that little bit of speed paint, I'm going to go around the outside here with around the outside with this black. And this tends to be it's in this big tub. The little tubs don't do it, but I don't have any of the little tubs of it right now. I've never had a little tub do it, but this big tub, it tends to be lumpy sometimes, and if you don't water it down, sometimes it's just like ugh. But I bought this big tub to use predominantly on doing like terrain and stuff, so I don't like let it get me down, and I don't flip out about it. I just realized, you know, I paid like $3 for this giant thing of paint, and it's lasted me for a couple years, and I haven't had that one for as long as some of my other stuff. You know, I've only had that one for like maybe 2 years, but it's still lasting. You know, it's not gone. All right, so I think we got him kind of where we want him. I need to do something about eyes. And it looks like his eyes are like a shiny green. Okay, let's see if we can make a metallic green real quick. I'm going to get a really light silver. This is called Shining Silver. It's very bright and vivid and crazy. And I'm going to be using this for something else too. So we're going to use it for this as well. So for this silver, what I'm doing is I'm going to get some of this bright shining silver, and I'm going to paint the edge along here of his spear and that little part there. And then I'm just going to mimic that on the back. Okay. And then we're going to get a vibrant green color. This is that Kelly green. We'll just get it's pretty mid-tone and bright. We'll get a dab of that. And what I want to do is I want to take some of this Kelly green and some of this metallic and get a good mid-tone shiny silver or metallic green, not silver. Okay, so I'm going to get that, and then I'm just going to touch it as a thick glob where his eye is. I'm going to come back and get some more and make it a little thicker. And if you don't do it too big, you don't have to go back around it with orange. Their eyes can be a little silly and big, and that's okay. All right, obviously not my best work, but this was not an easy one. Let's call it a win here. I feel like if I keep poking at it and prodding at it, we'll just ruin it. So this is my Locathah. It cost me some garbage and a hero click to make. I don't know if they even make an official mini for it. They very well may. I just don't know. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching. If you enjoy what I'm doing here, please hit like, subscribe. The notification bell icon would be a nice victory for me, I think. Comment if you could, share it around. Check out our website, maybe buy some minis. Come join our Discord. These links are in the description. This is not hard stuff to find. I really appreciate you watching. I know there's a lot of cool shit out there to watch, and I'm not at the top of that list. So here's my Locathah. I'm going to clear coat this guy with some of that Rust-Oleum ×2 clear matte stuff. And then I'm going to take him up on the table, and we'll talk about how you would run these guys. And honestly, they run away a lot, so it's not going to be super intense. Hey, thanks for watching.